Good afternoon, this is Bobcat Update. I'm Priscilla Meza with a quick summary of events at Texas State University. Thank you for joining us. Sports fans will not see head coach Danny Casper on the sidelines this season, leading the men's basketball team at Texas State. The university announced Casper resigned from his position Tuesday, months after a former player accused him of regularly making racist remarks to players. In June, the former player claimed Casper abused his power on a daily basis to the point where players began to think it was normal. Athletic Director Larry Tice notified the Office of Equity and Inclusion to launch an investigation. Assistant coach Terrence Johnson will take over the reins for the Bobcats this season. The Bobcats football team travels to the East Coast this weekend for a matchup against Boston College. The Bobcats are 1-2 so far this season. In their last outing, they defeated the University of Louisiana at Monroe on the road. The ULM Warhawks volleyball team will be at Strahan Coliseum tonight to face the Lady Bobcats. Texas State is off to a good start with a 5-1 record. Bobcat Update's Christina Willis says the team is being extra cautious in light of COVID-19.
These ladies have put in the time and hard work to make the most of it. Working as a team has really helped them through it all. They are excited to play and determined to outdo any opponent they face.
Well, definitely doing the little things. I think we got a little caught up in the bigger picture rather than breaking it down and doing the basic stuff.
With their determination and coaching staff's guidance, the team has overcome every challenge they have faced.
It's been crazy. It's just been crazy when you don't know how many kids are going to be in practice. You don't know, we're still on pins and needles, getting ready to find out if anyone tested positive this week and who could be out. And so we're taking it actually and trying to just say that's not going to be an excuse.
The pandemic has affected all sports at Texas State in various ways, but the women's volleyball team is ready to put the difficulties aside and play their hearts out. For Bobcat Update, I'm Christina Willis.
In other news, at Texas State, the service organizations are scrambling to find projects they can safely work on during the pandemic. Service projects must follow state and local guidelines for safety, and they are more difficult to organize because of social distancing rules. It also didn't help that the city's parks were closed for a long time because that's where service projects are often performed. With the reopening of parks and city facilities this month, the organizations believe they'll be able to do more for the community. Clubs, too, are having a hard time finding ways to connect. The coronavirus has affected the way they socialize and recruit new members. We get that story from Bobcat Update's Linda Perez.
Many students who are members of clubs are unable to meet because of the safety precautions set up to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Many clubs have had to make changes to keep their organizations alive.
Trying to run a club right now has been kind of difficult. It's been difficult because we haven't been able to do the normal things that we love to do in the outdoors club. Meeting face-to-face and our camping trips have been postponed for this semester.
Another concern the club is encountering is the difficulty of connecting with freshmen to join. Joining clubs is a common way to make friends and meet new people, especially when starting at a new school.
I've been reaching out to them, trying to make them feel comfortable and welcome to the group as best that I can. It's hard whenever it's not face-to-face in person, trying to think of fun ways to include them even though they're not a part of it yet.
The Outdoors Club continues to encourage its members to hike often and to participate in river cleanups. For Bobcat Update, I'm Linda Perez.
It might be harder for athletics, clubs, and other organizations to function normally on campus, but there's at least one bright spot to report, a very positive development for the master's degree program at Texas State. The university has reached a record-setting enrollment for its master's program for the 2020 school year. The fall semester enrollment was up more than 24% from last year. Texas State now offers more than 100 master's, specialist, and doctoral programs. Let's face it, this is a time that requires adjusting. It's not just Texas State. Other universities are being challenged as well. Each university sets its own policies. Bobcat Update's Caitlin Broadbent talked with some students at other schools.
Southern Methodist University in Dallas welcomed students back to campus on August 31st. In that week, school saw 168 positive COVID-19 cases, despite the students only attending in-person classes every other week.
SMU is doing something called Flex, so we've divided the entire student body into two groups, red and blue group. And so one week, red group goes to classes, the next week, blue group goes to classes, and then when you're not in class, you're on Zoom.
Despite offering students the opportunity to return to in-person instruction, some students still feel like something is missing.
Personally, I like the system because I can still go to class, I can still kind of see people, but it also feels like a waste of money. Honestly, if I feel like I'm not getting the full student experience.
Austin Community College, however, only offers in-person classes for health sciences and applied technology courses. The community college has reported only one active case since the end of July.
Currently at ACC, all of our classes are online except for like health sciences and technology, but I'm not taking any of those classes, so thankfully.
While fully online education removes classroom enrichment, it adds a feeling of security to those concerned about unnecessary contact.
ACC, I like the way they're doing it because they really don't have any COVID cases at all because of it, and pretty much everyone's online, which I like because we're staying safe.
COVID-19 has brought incredible amounts of frustration to students and educators globally. Students have a variety of options to get their education safely in universities across Texas. For Bobcat Update, I'm Caitlin Broadbent.
Texas State University is among several schools in the state participating in a tracing initiative. The university is recruiting applicants for paid contact tracer positions who will collect information about the spread of COVID-19. Around 200 positions need to be filled. Those who are hired will contact newly COVID-19 diagnosed patients to document a symptom check and provide patients with instructions for quarantine or isolation if needed. This whole pandemic thing can take a toll. It can cause anxiety and depression, and it can be isolating. India Sherman has that story.
Students have returned home this semester due to coronavirus and are taking therapy sessions online. Students who struggle with anxiety and fear during this challenging time are able to do a few things from home to avoid from being overwhelmed.
Going to see your therapist, going to learn more about the diagnosis that you receive, learning new tips, learning about yourself.
Moving therapy sessions online have students concerned about the privacy of their information.
Challenges has been students' lack of privacy. It's harder for them to communicate to you when they feel like everybody in the house can hear them. So they don't really have that free space to go around.
Paying attention to your mental health is important during this pandemic. For Bobcat Update, I am India Sherman.
After the break, we'll widen the scope and take a look at how San Marcos and other towns in Central Texas are doing. Stay with us. Because of COVID-19, school districts in Central Texas have been working hard to provide resources for online teaching, yet a lot of schools are also offering face-to-face instruction. Tyler Carthel has the story.
Elementary schools from Bernie ISD to Comal ISD have made some big changes to keep students and teachers healthy during these trying times. According to Bernie ISD's website, schools are expected to comply with the governor's executive order relating to the use of face coverings during the COVID-19 disaster. Fifth grade teacher Jessica James says most students seem not to mind wearing masks, that is, until after recess.
Because they are running around all hot and sweaty and, whatever, playing football, whatever it is, and then they have to walk back into the building and put the mask back on, and they're still all red and sweaty and gross, So that's when they really complain about it, and when I have to remind most of them, hey, put your mask back on, hey,
The biggest change that teachers are dealing with comes from little things. Comal ISD's website states that each student will be required to have his or her own set of basic classroom supplies that will be stored in a closed container that can be cleaned at the end of the day. This rule hinders students' ability to share.
So this year we're this is your glue and nobody else touches it kind of.
Whether in class or at home in front of a computer, students should know that faculty and teachers like James are working as hard as they can to make sure students get their education. For Bobcat Update, I'm Tyler Carthel.
The apartment complexes in San Marcos are wondering if they can find enough renters to fill all of the vacancies. San Marcos offers many housing options ranging from those that cater to students to more conventional housing. Student housing offers room leases, furnished apartments, nearby bus stops, and proximity to campus. However, student housing is also often loud and densely populated. Conventional housing can provide a quieter living experience for renters if they can afford higher fees for amenities and don't mind longer commutes. Finding the right apartment can be stressful, but there are apartment locator experts who can help you find the best home. The pandemic has had an adverse economic impact on many small businesses, especially those that rely on in-person marketing. One San Marcos business owner is having to find ways to stay afloat after losing her storefront this year. Bobcat Update's Reginald Jones has the story.
Many local businesses are facing an uphill battle while trying to adapt to the economic effects of the pandemic. Owner of Daughter of the Wild, Nikki Vargas, has had to change her marketing tactics to fit an all-digital approach after losing her store this year.
It was a big difference because I would upload all my product and then just sit and wait and hope and pray that someone was able to, in a pandemic, buy jewelry or buy a plant, buy things that some folks wouldn't deem essential.
Loyal customers and Texas State students miss the experience of physically browsing among the many plants and handmade jewelry.
I was actually really looking forward to going to the store in person to see all the things. I know I always follow them on Instagram and I always like the content that they posted. But when it did get shut down, I was actually really sad that I couldn't actually be there in person.
Although she misses having the physical location for her store, Vargas can't help but have doubts about reopening.
Is it going to be realistically smart to open up a shop again during a pandemic? Like what do I need to consider doing this? And so part of the time I felt like just vacating and leaving. Another part of the time I would be able to see the future with a little bit more clarity and be like, okay, it's still worth holding on to.
Vargas hopes to reopen within a month. To help support her shop, visit Vargas's Instagram page at Daughter of the Wild. For Bobcat Update, I'm Reginald Jones.
New downloads of the app TikTok are supposed to be banned starting this weekend. President Trump calls TikTok a threat to national security, and he wants it sold to an American company. The Commerce Department announced that it would start blocking distribution of TikTok on Sunday, meaning people won't be able to download it anymore. However, if you already have it, the app will keep functional for a few more weeks. The company Oracle is attempting to buy the app. September marks Hispanic Heritage Month in Texas. Bobcat Update's Patrick Morales explored a museum in Austin that draws attention to the event.
Texas State alumnus Lyndon Johnson in 1968 proclaimed September as a month to praise the contributions of Hispanic Americans. Museums like Mexican Arte Museum celebrate this month by hosting Hispanic arts and paying tribute to the tradition that celebrates the return of the dead. A popular exhibition in downtown Austin is La Dia de los Muertos. However, because of COVID-19, the exhibit will have stricter viewing policies this year.
This is the 37th year that we have presented the Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos exhibition. So we are open to the general public.
Museum Director George Vargas says the museum is open because people expect it. The museum is among the first in Austin to again welcome guests since the pandemic forced shutdowns.
So my name is Wendy Guerrero, and my altar is dedicated to the practice of curanderismo. In honor of my guardian angel, and I believe the person who is my don, who looks after me in my practice, is my grandfather, Lorenzo Lopez Robles.
Although the museum is small, it shows courage through this pandemic to open its doors for others to celebrate traditions and cultures. The exhibit will continue through November 22nd and is located at 419 Congress Avenue in Austin. For Bobcat Update, I'm Patrick Morales.
And we close today with another fun cultural event that you can check out this weekend. Drive-in theaters have made a comeback lately because they offer entertainment at a safe distance. Sydney Tyndall has our final report from Comal County.
Family-owned drive-in theater Stars and Stripes in New Braunfels closed back in March due to COVID-19, but shortly reopened in May with new safety protocols in place. Employees and guests are required to wear a mask while at the drive-in lot and in the concessions cafe. Stars and Stripes shift supervisor Brooke Bondis says she and her team are doing their best to implement the new safety protocols for their guests.
Right now, we don't have all of our lanes open. We have every other lane open to keep that distance with our customers and our team members.
Stars and Stripes tries to be a safe place for people to enjoy away from work, school, and the house. Customers appreciate the experience of going out with their families and friends to enjoy movies at a social distance.
You get the atmosphere and you get the feeling of going to a movie theater, but you're socially distanced, so you get to still experience that. So I think it's a good opportunity for people to get out the house and relax and go watch a movie without being tight into a movie theater.
Stars and Stripes has sold out every weekend during the pandemic. Guests are excited to get out of the house and re-watch some of their favorite classics on the big screen from the comfort of their cars. For Bobcat Update, I'm Sydney Tyndall.
Looks fun. And we hope you find joy this weekend. Bobcat Update will return soon with more reports on what's happening at Texas State and the Hill Country. I'm Priscilla Meza.